Are you ready to find peace in your heart? Of course you do. I'm Coach Easy, and welcome to the It's EaZy show. As an empowered empath, empowering mindsets, and confidence through adversity, I will help you connect and conquer. Listen in as we talk real about serious concerns in the world and learn how by working together we can make life amazing. You are the ultimate number one in your life, and that's why you can be whoever you want and do whatever you want without worrying what anyone else thinks. Why? Because it's easy with me, Coach Easy. I believe there is a path to an easier way, and having God in your life is the key. On this show, laughter is a promise, and music is the spiritual language. Because it's easy. Starts now. Well, hello, welcome. It's Coach Easy here, because it's Easy show. Transformation Network Radio. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Weather's getting nicer. That's sure nice, isn't it? I did want to share a show today about goals, and I don't know how many people of you keep goals or write goals down. Goals are very important, and even myself, I've slipped maybe on occasion, but every time I do keep goals, keeps me on point, gets me where I want to go. You can have short-term goals or long-term goals. But I wanted to first show something. I don't know why, because I'm a proud father. I got this box today called Keep Smiling. I had no idea what the hell it would be. And I don't even know for sure, I haven't talked to her, but my daughter had prom 2 weeks ago. And if she sent this to me on her own, I'm impressed and I'm very, very happy. I just had to share that. She knows Dad is the empathetic and sensitive one. Of course, she's my whole life. I adore her. But anyway, let's get back to business. So, goals. Do you know if you ever kept goals? If you don't keep goals, what would you think would be your first idea? Would you like long-term goals? Because you can do either, or short-term goals, or real short-term goals. So sometimes if I'm really on top of things, I try to set short-term, like real short-term, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, but I usually try to set them at least once a month. And then try to live kind of that life. I mean, kind of always keep it in your daily, not the goal itself, but things leading up to it, if that makes sense. Know exactly what you're after. And, on a whatever basis, monthly, weekly, yearly, and keep a list, keep it short and to the point. Just something you can always kind of look back on, maybe in your phone, your notes, just to kind of remind you. I'm telling you, it makes a big difference for me. It'll help you stay on track and kind of, when life gets bumpy, keep you on track so you don't get distracted and completely off pace, right? But here's one thing about goals. They always come with obstacles sometimes. Whether they're small bumps in the road, like I said, or they're huge things that throw you off. Here's some ideas that would keep you on point so you don't get on track, kind of ways. Always don't let yourself get frustrated if you're lacking creativity. It'll come. But other thing, negative thinking can cause your goals to be in jeopardy. Lacking confidence. And that's where I come in. That's why I say it's part of my whole thing is empowering people and empowering myself. I had to do it myself. Once you empower yourself, you shouldn't have that lack of confidence. Because the more you succeed, the more you conquer those obstacles, just the stronger your confidence gets. Eventually to the point where you're just like, I mean, that doesn't mean you won't still have bumps in the road and obstacles, but those obstacles will be a lot easier. I call it confidence through adversities. It's a TED Talk I wrote. But lacking confidence, of course, focus follies. We can get off focus a lot too. We don't get our focus right. Just like, for instance, even with this show, I have to be focused plenty of time beforehand to make sure I'm on point. If I wait till the last second, I can throw my focus off. I even take something that Joe Rogan, who we all know Joe Rogan's, right? He's the man for the podcast, I guess, but it's a thing that helps with this. It's all natural, but it helps with keeping your focus and keeping you alert. It's good stuff. But refusing to put in the effort is a good one. I know that sometimes we can get lazy, but effort is the key to almost everything in life to me. I feel like effort makes the total difference to everything I do. And I get lazy. I mean, I can be like, I'll put it off till tomorrow. You start doing that, then you start putting something else off, and then it starts, you get behind, and then it's a mess. I've been there. And then you can have the time traps where, for me, being kind of ADD or ADHD, time goes faster for me than most people. It's hard to explain unless you have it. I could swear that something that I think took an hour was 2 hours. And the next thing you know, I'm like, holy, where did time go? So that's another thing. You got to keep your time on point. And big aspirations. I mean, you don't want to let that happen. I mean, you want to be on point, not big. Detail is always key. And then, of course, where you're going to talk and how your goals are going to go. Your goals, your actual goals make a difference on how you handle a lot of these obstacles. What are those goals? So for me, I usually try to do weekly for sure. Daily's tough to do. Sometimes you get sidetracked and forget, but weekly goals help me keep my monthly goals, keep my yearly goals, which my yearly goals are a long ways away, but I try to keep at least a week, monthly for sure, weekly, at least a weekly. And that doesn't mean I don't get off track and then those goals look a little bit, but if it's a year away, you just stay close so you can get back on point at all times. I don't know how many of you keep goals, but it's made a huge difference in my life. It's helped my confidence, made my completely unforgetful, because you got to write them down. I used to write them down on a whiteboard, but when I moved, I haven't set that whiteboard back up. But I used to have them where I could just see them right where I'm sitting. It reminded me every day. I don't know how many of you even consider doing that, but if you want to get your confidence and you want to build for something in your future, I would suggest it. The keys to success, honestly, is focusing on your goals and what's important, what you want in life. If that makes sense. Without those, it's tough to stay on point and it's tough to get to that success that you want to be at. I started too late. I'm hoping people will start much sooner than I did. You have success. It's a natural. It brings joy. It keeps your spirits high. I know when I'm succeeding and I'm making my goals, always seems to keep me happier than when I'm off point. But myself, I get sidetracked on some of those obstacles I spoke about. And that's sometimes it's just in your head, your lack of confidence. And it really is. Lack of confidence can screw up a lot of things for you. Never quit. My favorite saying is, you can rest, but don't quit. No point to quit. Why not? Keep going. Doesn't mean you can't take a break. Just don't forget about what your end game is, what you want to be doing. I know I used to be that way. I'm not kidding. Unless someone challenged me, it was a whole different story. I made a video the other day that said, you know, doubt me, doubt me, and I will show you, because that's what I used to have. I used to have a friend that I used to get down on myself. Like, I was the biggest critic of myself. If I played bad in a ball game, I was dead for the rest of the night. I was defeated. Sometimes it would affect me right in the middle of the game. And I had a friend, and um, he's not with us anymore, God forbid. But he was a really great athlete, and he used to say to me, he used to make me so mad, because you know what he used to do? He'd tell me I suck. He said, "You suck. You shouldn't even be playing with us." And it would almost to the point hurt me, make me angry, and then I would, whatever reason, play lights out. It was because I had to prove him wrong, or anybody else that questioned me. And that shouldn't be. I shouldn't have to have that. But it worked. And he would say to me, I know. He said he would do it on purpose because he loved me. He loved me. We're good friends, but it didn't feel like it when he was saying it. But he's one of the people I know that always had goals. Of course, he's always worked out, and he's always done that. Matter of fact, it's unfortunate, and God rest his soul. He died at the gym. Actually, just standing there, had a heart attack. Sad. About 3 years ago. It was such a shocker because he was only a year older than me, but he was probably the most in shape friend I had. He didn't drink, didn't do cigarettes, didn't do nothing. That's how crazy things can happen. So, not to get off point, but value every day you have, and value every person in your life that you care about. You never know when it's their day. But let's not get bleak. Let's not get bleak. So, we're going to talk about, I guess, what goals you may have, maybe what goals I have, and maybe just give you an idea of what are smaller goals that you can reach. And we're going to talk about that after the break. We'll be back here in a minute, and I'll tell you a few things that I have on the mind. See you in a minute. Welcome back. So keeping goals, it's strong. You can navigate around obstacles. It's tough, but it can be not so tough. Actually, it's easy because it's easy. So keeping your goals strong is here's some examples. Rewind back to basically your past achievements. That'll help keep you on point, knowing that you succeeded, right? And what that means is just never be afraid to be, I guess you could say, excited for yourself or promote yourself. Celebrate yourself. There you go. There's nothing wrong with celebrating yourself. Just don't expect it from other people. Your goals have to be personal and internal, and you can't count on anybody else. It's nice if you have somebody else to kind of motivate you, or somebody you're working with that kind of try to meet the same goals. Compare stories, keep each other on track. That's always good. Maybe if you're trying to lose weight, or you're working out, trying to build that muscle, you got to have goals with that too. It's always nice to have a second person, but you can't rely on that. You got to have it be personal and internal and your own thing. So a good, you got to make sure you don't get negative, because negative thoughts will ruin you. It'll ruin you. Like if you're not seeing yourself progress, if you're not progressing towards maybe your monthly goal, then pick it up a notch, but don't get negative. Negative, trust me, I've been there. This is a funny story I'll tell you. I used to be a pretty negative person, honestly. I had felt like I always had things go against me. And this literally just happened about 5 years ago. And I was like complaining, I think, at work about not getting the car sold. And what I did wrong and was being negative, right? And I can't expect to get every deal right. But my mentality has always been, if I don't get something finished, I failed. That's not a good way to put it. You gotta look at the bright side. You gotta look at the positive of everything. But so I was kind of mumbling something. I said, my boss said to me, he goes, "You're kind of a half glass empty kind of guy, aren't you?" And I swear I looked at him and I went, you know what? We're pretty much in. I always think the worst and hope for the best. And he said, that's such a effed up way to live. And that was one of the turning points for me to change myself. And it's been a huge difference staying positive. And it's been a big reason why I started doing these goals, because goals have made me a different person. It's given me so much more confidence. And it's also helped me reach my goals, or reach what I want to do. And success is so much comes from positivity. If you're thinking negative, it brings negative. It really does. That's why I had so much negative in my life, because I was thinking negative all the time. So just another little side note on that, but stay positive. And if you fall short of your goal, maybe weekly or monthly, you just pick it up the next month. There's no reason to say no failure. You just didn't quite get there. So don't be negative for sure. And commit to those goals, commit to that schedule, whatever that schedule is, or whatever you think you have to do to meet those goals. Commit. Don't just, yeah, I probably get to it if I can. You've already failed if you do that. You have to commit. Commit. Do you may understand why I'm saying that? I know you do. I've been one that's been sometimes in the past, maybe a little bit half-assed, if you want to call it that, thinking, oh, maybe I'll get it next week if I don't get it this week. Yeah, you get yourself in trouble doing that. You get yourself really behind in. And you're just punishing, you're just basically hurting yourself if you do that, because by the end of the day, you're going to be down on yourself. And then that's going to lead slowly, maybe not for everybody, but slowly it'll meet fuck with those goals. You know what I mean? You just decide, oh, they're not important again. So stay committed. Always stay committed. And you want to keep your goals, I say, within vision. At least once a day, you can see them. You can clarify those goals, keep them fresh. Never forget about them. Always remember them. You don't have to sit there and dwell on it all day, but in the morning, maybe wherever you go and wake up, maybe you have a cup of coffee, have them close by, maybe sit on the table or up on the wall or something where you can see them every day, just to remind you. And make sure you, like I said, clarify them though. Make sure you know exactly that those are what you need to do. If you have to adjust your goals during that period, that's fine. Just make sure you clarify what exactly it is you want. And work. You have to put in the work. The work is biggest part. Some goals are tougher than other goals, but those goals are going to be more worth it too. They're going to mean more. So don't be lazy, if you want to call it that. And I'm not calling you, I can be lazy. The older I get, the more lazy I can get. So goals are more important for me being older too, because when I'm young, man, we're like, there's a difference. So here's the thing between young and old. Young, you have all that ambition and all that, but you also don't have the discipline. So that can bother you too. When you get older, you tend to have the discipline, but you don't have the juice. You don't have sometimes you don't have the enthusiasm, or you're a little sore, a little bit, whatever the case may be. It's easy to get lazy either way, but I'd rather be young and do it. If I knew now, or if I knew when I was younger what I know now, it would be amazing, because I just hope I would be as disciplined. And that's the key for younger people. You have to get disciplined. It's too easy to go out and get drunk the night before or something and just be like, screw it, I do it tomorrow. You can do that once, but you'll just continue to do it. If you do it once, you'll keep doing it. And I'm not even saying you can't still get to your goals. It's just going to make it tougher, and it's going to make it less achievable if you get into something like that. I know my young producer, he probably knows what I'm talking about. he'd probably done that once or twice, maybe. But
feeling old and
no, maybe drank too much the night before.
oh yeah, I've done
So,
that plenty of times and like had responsibilities the next morning. Oof.
right.
Still trying to work my way through it too.
I know it's something that don't hit you till you're real old, like me.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. I don't drink anymore because of it. You know, I try to keep
Oh, don't
myself.
you? You don't either? But at
No,
least you
no.
learned earlier than I did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I didn't learn until 5 years ago when I wrecked my motorcycle, or about 6 years ago now. That was just silly. I mean, that's a downfall. I don't want to sit and criticize people that drink. Some people are better at it than I am, or more controlled than I am. But I found out myself that I'm not myself. I'm not a bad person. I've always been a happy kind of drinker, but
Right.
I also feel invincible. And that invincible, that can be a real false wake-up call. I know that they've affected my goals in life big time. I would say drinking caused me to, and I wasn't a big goal setter, but I always had thoughts of things I wanted to accomplish, but I didn't keep the goals. The goals might have kept me a little more disciplined. So the combination of the two would have been very helpful when I was younger, because I wasn't, when I was younger, I was not nearly the confidence person I am today. I just wanted to know what everybody else was doing. I wanted to go have fun, screw my goals.
Right.
I mean, that was just who I was.
I think the biggest problem that I had was I wasn't really sure what I wanted. I wasn't confident in what my goals were. So a lot of the times I was very standoffish, or I wasn't putting all of my energy in, and that's why I was doing that. You know, like I didn't really care about my work. I didn't care about my life. I didn't care about my job. You know, I just kind of
You just get another one, right? Or you
yeah,
just get
exactly. So I just kind of like felt irresponsible, and for a while it was just I thought that I was doing what I wanted to do to have fun, but realistically, I really just didn't know what I was doing, and I just made
And
bad
that's a big thing
decisions.
when you're young, is not really sure what you're gonna do. I mean, unless you've
Exactly,
already got your
exactly.
career set, you don't know sometimes.
Hmm.
And you don't know how that career is gonna go. You don't know if that's what you want to do. I mean, there's a lot of feeling out period when you're younger. I was a guy that bounced all over the place. I finally got the job I wanted, and I kept it for 20 years, and then the motorcycle wreck took me out. So
Right.
changed my whole goal. My goals have changed a lot, and that's okay. You can have different goals. Your life can change in a matter of instance, so it's okay to change your goals. What you set for goals when you were 25 might be completely different when you're 40, but at least you have goals, something to shoot for. So I'll leave you with this. Are you doing the work you need to do now to meet what you want for success in the future? Because if you're not, start using some goals, weekly, daily, whatever you want, monthly, and you can get whatever you want. I promise you. Goals will make a big difference in your life and help you with your confidence. So, all right, we're about done here, guys. It's been a great time. I hope everybody learned something. Goals. Goals are big and they're important. Take care, everybody. You have been listening to the Its EaZy Show with me, Coach EaZy. Empowered Empath, empowering mindsets, and building confidence through adversities. Tune in every Tuesday at 3:30 Pacific, 5:30 Central Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where I, Coach EaZy, will show you the easy way to make your life simple, abundant, and amazing.